meeting to order. The City Council for the City of Brookshire, Texas will hold a special session city council meeting on July 24th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in City Council chambers for the purpose of considering the following. Before we go any further, let's do the prayer and the pledge, please.
Our gracious Father in heaven, we are thankful for this opportunity to gather together this day. We're grateful for the blessings Thou hast bestowed upon us. We're especially thankful for Thy guiding hand to watch over the city of Brookshire and to protect and keep us in the hollow of Thy hand. We pray this night, Father, that Thy wisdom might prevail, that we might do those things that can best lead and direct our city. We ask for You to continue to watch over our city and that we might enjoy here safety and that we might find peace and harmony. Father, we ask this night that, especially at this council meeting, we might be directed and inspired as we seek to follow Thy direction in leading this city. And this we pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4, roll call. Miss Molina, can you see who's here?
Alderman Green is absent tonight.
Yeah.
Alderman Taylor,
Here.
Alderman McAnally,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Richards,
Present.
Mayor Branch,
Here.
Alderman McDade.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Moving right along. Agenda item number 5, public comments and ordinance with Texas Open Meeting Act, the Texas Government Code 551.007. City Council may not discuss or take action on any item not listed on the agenda. Each member of the public wishing to speak must sign in prior to the meeting and is limited to 3 minutes. We have one person on the public comments, and it's Ms. Kim Branch.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I wish I could have been here the night y'all got sworn in, but due to unforeseen health circumstances, I couldn't. So congratulations, Ms. McDade and Mr. Robertson. I'll convey that to Mr. Green. I'm a little disappointed in the citizens that continue to bash council people on Facebook and the mayor. When they say the city, y'all are the city. There's people that's using Facebook to just demean the mayor as well as council members. I believe that some stories has been told on a couple of council members that may be true and may not be true. But I think that this hurricane that we seen the other day was our chance to be ready. I don't think anybody done anything wrong. Centerpoint definitely was not ready. And what's really sad is the council didn't come together as a team and work with the people that is certified emergency management people. They have certifications and they've been through emergency situations before and know how to handle it. And I know y'all are going to say I'm taking up for Mayor Branch because he's my husband. Somebody asked, well, where was the mayor? He is out riding around. He was riding around with his grandson where he could look for anything that might be needed to be reported to Public Works or to the police department. I'm begging y'all to please place principles before personalities. Quit tearing each other down. And when you write on Facebook, not everybody sees it, but it's a reflection on everybody. And it's sad. I want y'all, it's my hopes that y'all work as a team. I can tell you, nobody called Mayor Branch when the storm happened to see where he was. Hey, if y'all didn't see him, how y'all know he didn't need help? He can't go out and help nobody. He can't run a chainsaw because he has a pacemaker and defibrillator. He can't pick anything up because his back is bad. So I'm not sure what the citizens of Brookshire think y'all should do as council. Y'all can do a whole lot of stuff as citizens representing the city, and all these people talking about volunteering. I don't see none of these people volunteering. Y'all, please, John Boaz has a ministry that
Branch, you need to wrap it up.
Lord Send Me Ministries, that's what he does, is cook food in disasters. The hangar will help. The United Way, all you have to do is dial 211 and they can get you in. The convention center can't be set up as a shelter because we don't have medical personnel on duty, and when you set up a shelter, you must have medical personality. I thank you for your time, and please, I beg of y'all to work together as a team and quit putting down the city of Brookshire. Thank you.
Thank you. Next agenda item, number 6, proclamation for appreciation of service for former Alderwoman Kim Branch. Kim Branch,
That would be you.
come forward, please.
Did I read
Yes, you did.
Oops. Guess I ain't a council person no more, and I don't have to read it. Oh, my.
A proclamation honoring former city alderman Kim Branch for distinguished service. Whereas the city of Brookshire recognizes the invaluable contributions of its public servants who dedicate their time, effort, and expertise to the betterment of our community. And whereas Kim Branch has faithfully served as an alderman for the city of Brookshire since May 16th, 2008, demonstrating unwavering dedication to the citizens of Brookshire. And whereas during her tenure, Kim Branch has played an instrumental role in numerous initiatives and projects that have significantly enhanced the quality of life for residents, including but not limited to improvements in infrastructure, public safety, and community services. And whereas Kim Branch has consistently shown tenacity, integrity, and commitment, earning the respect of her colleagues, constituents, and all who served with her. And whereas her efforts have not only contributed to the immediate betterment of our city, but have also laid a strong foundation for the continued growth and prosperity of Brookshire. Now, therefore, I, Darrell Branch, Mayor of the City of Brookshire, do hereby extend our heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to Kim Branch for her exceptional service and dedication to our community. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Brookshire to be affixed this 4th day of July, 2024.
Well, I'm sure Mayor Branch didn't. Oh, my. I feel special. I know Mayor Branch didn't dream this up by himself, so whoever dreamed it up, Thank y'all very much.
Yes.
Well,
No, I really didn't.
Hey, Daryl, I need you to sign that.
hey, I bet you I can get him to sign it after hours. What do you think? Why not the rest of the council too? I'll get pictures with you all.
Sure.
And, Miss City Administrator. Wow, thank y'all very much. No wonder he said, no, you're going with me to council meeting tonight. Duh.
Okay, y'all gotta come in.
I want you next to me, let me lean.
Okay, y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank y'all very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Since I was informed I'm not speaking loud enough, let's try it again. Agenda item number 7, proclamation appreciation for the City of Brookshire Public Works Department.
Ernest, Vaughn.
All the only two here.
Proclamation of appreciation for the City of Brookshire Public Works Department. Whereas the City of Brookshire was struck by the powerful forces of Hurricane Beryl, which brought significant challenges and potential dangers to our community, and whereas the City of Brookshire Public Works Department displayed exceptional dedication, expertise, and resilience in their efforts to prepare for, respond to, and recover from the impact of Hurricane Beryl, and whereas the diligent planning, round-the-clock efforts, and unwavering commitment of the Public Works Department were instrumental in safeguarding the lives and properties of our citizens. And whereas the teamwork, professionalism, and swift actions of the Public Works Department ensured the restoration of safe roadways, the clearing of debris, and the repairing of our infrastructure, demonstrating their crucial role in our community's recovery. And whereas the City of Brookshire recognizes the tireless work and sacrifices made by the members of the Public Works Department who went above and beyond the call of duty to serve and protect our community during this challenging time. Now, therefore, I, Daryl Branch, Mayor of the City of Brookshire, on behalf of the City Council and all of our residents, do hereby extend our deepest appreciation and heartfelt gratitude to the City of Brookshire Public Works Department for their outstanding service and unwavering dedication in the face of Hurricane Beryl. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Brookshire to be affixed this 24th day of July, 2024.
And I just want to say a couple words. I know that I've brought this up Monday night during our budget, and I've brought it up several times, but our public works crew is truly one of the bookends of our city. Every single one of them is incredible. They do a great job. We had a meeting today, and we were talking about, you know, what a family we are. We a lot of times spend just as much time with our coworkers as we do our own families. We celebrate together, we get frustrated together, we grieve together, we love together, And each one of these guys is tremendous, and I can't thank them enough for what they've done during the hurricane. There were several of us, Chief included, who came in 2 and 3 o'clock that Monday morning and rode the storm out at PD. We were in constant communication. These guys worked all weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday leading up to the hurricane. And they had reported into work at 9 o'clock that morning when we still had 50-mile-an-hour winds. They started the recovery as soon as they could. When most cities around us haven't even started, we are on the tail end of finishing, plus disposing of all of our debris, burning it, and I can't thank them enough. They've never complained. They've never asked for anything. So, thank y'all.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Agenda item number 8, consider and take action against consent agenda items listed on the consent agenda or considered routine and or generally enacted in one motion. The exception to the rule is, the exception to the rule occurs when a council member requests one or more items removed from the consent agenda for separate discussion and action. Okay. Under this, I have letter A, Brookshire Police Department monthly report.
Oh, you can just read all of them, and if somebody
Okay. B, approve the minutes for May 22nd, 2024, special city council meeting. C, approve the minutes for June 20th, 24, regular city council meeting. D, municipal court report, June 2024. E, emergency act plan grant report, June 2024. And F, trash collection report. G, bills paid report, June 2024. H, approve the municipality liability insurance risk cyber cover interlocal agreement. Any questions, discussion?
For the trash collection, did we finally get all of the residents' names and all that situated so that everyone has a bill?
I think we're still building it for the most part, but I
Okay.
do think that we're working on it. But the number has decreased of non-payers to like 349 from like 440 something. So,
good. Okay.
you know, we're seeing a steady, you know, of people coming in and that. So I think we're making some headway.
I think we need to put out some more of the little flyers again.
Yeah, sure will.
Ms. McDade, did you want to have that pulled from the consent agenda, or just a question? Did you want to have that item pulled from the consent agenda, or just have the
Just a
question?
question,
Okay.
yeah.
I move we would approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Second.
Okay. We'll just skip it. Okay. Next item.
All in favor?
All in favor, I'm sorry.
Aye.
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 Okay. The next item, which is C, right?
New business. Oh, you're going through each one.
Letter C, approved minutes from June 20th,
Oh, here.
24, regular city council meeting.
It was at the very bottom there.
Right here at the bottom. You already went through all those.
Oh,
First.
Number 9.
excuse me. New business, code enforcement report year to date from Safe Built Code Enforcement Contractor.
Have a
Alderman
representative?
Taylor.
So that's what, so she was unable to, she's on vacation this week, so she was unable to make it.
Mhm.
This is the report she will be able to make either
Okay.
the 1st or the 15th meeting that we
So I'm
have.
gonna table mine, cause I have
Okay.
questions. Like I said, I
That's
want to
fine.
know.
But maybe you can review this
I do.
and see if there's things that,
Do you have specific questions you want us to write down for her?
No, I
So she
wanna
can
talk to
make
her
sure
myself.
happen? Okay.
Okay.
So is that a motion to table?
I want to table A because the representative is not here.
Okay, B, open city employment position records. Report, Mr. Richards.
We can discuss that now. Do you want to go in executive session on that one?
It's up to you, sir.
Question, do you want executive session on that one?
Councilmember Richards, is it attorney-client for executive session, or would it be personnel?
Personnel.
You have to have that one noticed, and you don't have personnel noticed.
So go to
Well,
the
we
next.
can do it now.
We'll have to, yeah, maybe we can chat about it before, and I can see if we can.
Now, we can talk about it. Doesn't matter.
that's fine.
Talk about it?
Sure.
Okay. So, how many current vacant positions do we have right now?
In terms of funded or unfunded?
Total.
Nineteen, but some of those are unfunded.
19. Okay, so I'm looking at your vacancy list, and the unfunded positions are they future positions, or they're proposed future positions? Okay, and who does the approval process for those? Is that council? So I'm looking at an executive assistant for the city secretary. And my opinion is that's not a needed position.
So the one that says Assistant City Secretary?
That's correct. That is not a needed position. And also, you have a public information officer that's unfunded.
We took that one off. That's been off for a while because we made some internal changes in PD. But we covered that.
So that's off. Okay, you have an executive assistant for chief of police. I think that's a needed position. That's just my opinion. Okay. You have or you have plans to fund that position? Okay, in this budget cycle?
Yes. And that
Okay.
would be, most likely an internal, just an internal realignment.
Internal realignment, okay. And in animal control, that is a contract position, okay. Public Works Director. So you have 2 superintendents, no Public Works Director. How long has this position been frozen?
We added that position back on in February or February or March is when we added it back on. It had been taken off for quite some time, like over 10 years or so.
Is it frozen or unfrozen?
It's frozen right now.
Is it funded?
Well, if it's frozen, it's unfunded.
Okay, but the position during the first of the budget year was a funded position, so you just unfunded it?
we actually filled a superintendent position. We have 2 superintendents. So we had, Mr. Kelly sat in a position that was called a public works director, but council had quite a bit of conversation on several occasions about the fact of kind of realigning that entire department. Technically, a public works director is not somebody who works in the field. Somebody who actually works in the office and they're over permits, they're over streets and drainage, parks and recreation. They work with the city engineer on doing engineering, planning and zoning. So what we did was we talked as a council and kind of more accurately realigned that position. So Mr. Kelly came to us with a request to kind of do some shifting around with his position. And due to the shift in that position, council decided that we would hire another public works superintendent to where we would have 2 deputies and they would sit there until the city felt the need to go and hire a public works director.
Well, I think all of this is, of course, my opinion, that there's no need for 2 superintendent positions. You need to reinstate the public works director position, reinstate the person that was out of it back into that position, eliminate the superintendent position, create a community outreach liaison for the community. Your public works director is a very important position. And I can tell you that I'm looking at the generator failure twice that we had here, which is a very important piece of equipment. You have the amphitheater, we have problems over there, okay? You had storm things happening, and when I look into your emergency plan, the public works director has a very important role in that plan. And right now, it's vacant. That's a very important position. So I would like to make a recommendation that Mr. Kelly be reinstated into his position and one of the superintendent positions be eliminated. You're operating with 2 people right now anyway. So one of them will be a director, the other one's a superintendent. You still have 2 positions.
Mr. Kelly specifically requested to be removed from that position. I don't know how much we can discuss not being an executive session, but he specifically requested that he be removed from that position.
Let me tell you what.
A more limited position and a more limited capacity within the Public Works Department.
Let me tell you what I experienced with this. Mr. Hill, when I first began to run for council, he met me at Denny's because he said he wanted to meet with all the new council members. And he specifically told me that he was going to ask Mr. Kelly to step down because he wanted an engineer in that position. And that he had asked Mr. Kelly how many ditches was in Brookshire, and he couldn't tell him. Okay. And so, and also there was some other issues going on, and that he was going to recommend that this was told to me from Mr. Hill. Okay. And so I'm thinking that there's some underlying things done that's not right with this also. Okay. What was not done right is that I think there was pressure put on Mr. Kelly to be removed from his position.
Mr. Kelly
Okay.
actually made a request to us. He came and made a request to Erica and the mayor and I, and then asked to be put on the council agenda to be discussed in council. Mr. McAnally and Ms. Taylor were both in council where Mr. Kelly came and spoke to council. And Mr. Kelly was actually involved in the interview process for the public works superintendent.
Mr. Kelly actually spoke to me in private before that meeting as well, specifically to ask if I would be in favor of supporting his request for the realignment and lessening his position. If it came to a vote at City Council, he asked for me to support that, and I told him at that time that I would support that if he requested it.
But as I stated, I think there was some persuasion done. Okay. And because of some things personal with Mr. Kelly that the city of Brookshire should honor for anyone. Okay. So I would like to make a motion that Mr. Kelly be reinstated into his position.
You can't do that.
Okay. Well, we'll do it at a future meeting.
But
And if Mr. Kelly's
I would like
interest-
to say something though, and I'm gonna say this. we love Ernest, and we have a great relationship with Ernest. Ernest did come to Jennifer and I and asked for that, and we talked to him and his family about it. So, you know, I don't like the insinuation that something was done wrong, because I love that man.
I didn't insinuate that you did anything wrong, Ms. Milano. I'm insinuating that the conversation that I had personally with Mr. Hill at Denny's, but it is not about just Mr. Kelly. This is about the need for a public works director. I think that you need that. You all have too much on your plate, and you're trying to carry too many things. That's the reason why the generator's not working. The AC in the convention center, the amphitheater wall. You need an emergency plan. That position is needed. It's needed.
I will say, right now with the staff that we have, our public works department, since we have had our new public works superintendent come in, we've accomplished more in the past month and a half than this public works department has accomplished in 10 years. The amphitheater wall had nothing to do with a public works director. It was a failure on the installation of Craftsman, who was covering it under full warranty for the amphitheater. The generator failure had nothing to do with the public works director. It had to do everything with the fact that when that generator was installed, they did not choose to purchase a monitoring plan that would have notified anybody at City Hall that that battery failed for the switchover switch. That was not a public works director.
We can add it to future agendas, and I would like to hear from Mr. Kelly in executive session.
Okay. Letter C. Consider and take action to reappoint Kathy Guy to the Economic Development Corporation Board.
Can we have discussion? I'm sorry, but I have a problem with this as well. Ms. Guy, of course, you all know that the Economic Development Board has a term of 2 years for members. Of course, that term can be extended. It has been extended for members before in the past many times. Does that provide an opportunity for other citizens in Brookshire that are qualified for the board or want to serve on the board? Does that provide good opportunity for them? That has to be a question that someone has to ask themselves. So concerning Ms. Guy, we have Ms. Guy that's currently on the board. We have her husband, Mr. Steve Guy, that's on the board. We have Alderman Green, which is an employee that works for Kathy, Ms. Guy, and her husband's company. So to me, my opinion again, this is although it is perfectly legal for this arrangement, morally, it seems to be not right. And because the three individuals will be holding to vote together, possibly, okay? For example, if Ms. Guy becomes president, the employee would possibly be under a disadvantage to vote in favor of Ms. Guy. And of course, the spouse might also be obligated to vote in favor of the other spouse. And I say that I will recommend not nominating Ms. Guy because we can take care of this sort of immoral look that it would present to the citizens. In future meetings moving forward, if that situation happens, they'll bring it up. And there's other people that are interested in joining the Economic Development Board. Why should we have to extend the term for Ms. Guy? Allow other citizens an opportunity to serve on the board. And we can avoid a negative image. Ms. Guy's husband's still here, and the employee's still here. That employee's not put in an unfair disadvantage, and we have 2 new members on the board. So I recommend not approving Ms. Guy to be reinstated back to the Economic Development Board.
Ms. Guy brings a wealth of contacts as well as experience working with the city and with those people that want to bring business to the city. She's proven to be very valuable on that board in the past, and I believe that experience is something that we need to keep on this board at this point in time. Also, the two individuals that want to join the Economic Committee, Development Committee, Ms. Guy's membership in that committee would not prevent those members from being on that committee. That committee, I believe, can be up to 7 people. Is that correct, Miss 7? Up to 7 people, and there's not 7 people. I don't think there's 5 people currently serving on that committee. So I think Ms. Guy brings a valuable resource, and we should keep her on the board until such time as we have a wealth of citizenry that can bring equal skill sets to the Economic Development Board.
I totally understand where Mr. Alderman, Mayor Pro Tem. You can't hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a short neck.
Everybody go ahead.
Okay. But anyway, I do agree with Mayor Pro Tem Richards because not to say Mrs. Guy is not a good person for the board, but it's the image, you know, husband, wife, and employee on the board. It's not a good image for the city. And like he said, decisions made, the employee will be obligated to agree with whatever they're saying because he works for them. So, I mean, my opinion as well.
We don't have a say.
We
Oh.
vote now?
Okay.
We vote now or not?
He wants to know, do they vote?
I make a motion that we reappoint Kathy Guy to the Economic Development Corporation Board.
Opposed?
Yeah, the-
Opposed?
Well, no, so
It
would
you
need a
just
second
don't
for-
respond to the motion,
Okay.
and then it
Well, I just
dies.
asked. That's
And
why
then
I
you can
asked.
make a motion to not reappoint.
Alrighty. You wanna make a motion?
Make a motion to not reappoint.
A second?
So, actually, do you just mean remove her, right?
Absolutely.
About the motion.
Okay. Letter.
Are you going to call for a vote on that?
Oh,
Mayor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Have you talked to her? She don't wanna be on that.
What's that?
She don't wanna be on. I talked to her.
Okay.
Could you move item K up, because I think that's the only thing Craig is here for. And then
He not here though.
Oh. Wow.
Make him sit there.
I mean, you can,
Move
but
it
that's
up.
his only item, and I don't know how long we're going, yeah, long.
Did Green,
number are you?
did Green
Green
have
is
something to
on
say?
here.
Because he's not here, the
He's
person that
K,
made the
yeah.
motion.
Green's not here.
So, I mean, really,
Y'all can still discuss the
Yeah.
matter.
Okay.
I'm not
that's not, yeah, I don't think that's right.
specific questions.
Exactly.
Right, so this, I mean, really and truly, he should be here, because he had questions, that's why he put it on.
So that's the table.
All right. I appreciate y'all. Have a good evening.
You
You
too,
do.
thank you, sorry.
about that.
Sorry about that.
I was here earlier today. Y'all have a good night.
Thanks, Craig.
Good night.
Okay. let's go back to D. Consider and take action to create Animal Control Advisory Board approved by bylaws and appoint the initial members.
I think that was Green's.
Discussion?
So this is just, we actually created creating the board now that we've talked about it. And we're going to go ahead, we have the bylaws, and we're gonna appoint 2 council members and then Ruth Rodriguez as recommended by Alderman Green at a former meeting.
Oh, okay.
Or whoever y'all
Or-
want. This
yeah.
was just because we were directed that y'all wanted to create an animal advisory committee. So it's a bylaws, just very basic things. If you have questions about it, let me know. Cut and dry.
My biggest questions are what should be filled in the blanks.
I don't have it in front of me. Probably the names of the initial members.
Well, it says board members, the board should be made up of no more than blank number of members.
Yep. So however many members you want to have, fill in that number.
And then term, number of years is also blank on the bylaws.
However many years you want to set their term for.
Sure.
Can you?
Oh.
Board. I was on this board before we had a chance to really work together as sitting down, had meetings, and this that I want to tell you, the board that we had has rescued more animals, adopted out more animals than anybody in town. And I gave recommendation for a certified animal control person in the past. I'm not sure if he's still available for animal control, but, I personally probably have rescued 20 colts by spending my money and buying chicken nuggets out. And got for a handler to get the dog to do whatever I do. So, with that being said, I'd like to volunteer for that, and there's 2 ladies, well, actually 3 ladies, that's very instrumental in town. Being Tammy Livingston and Julia Stans of Bell's
Bell's
Bus.
Rescue.
They have helped out a lot of animals. They even send animals up north. I know that I have a
Different
friend
states.
that had to surrender his dog, and the people send pictures every once in a while, but he's been relocated. Jessica Woodall, as well as her husband, her dad, Mr. Woodall, was on that board. He was pleased as y'all, even if y'all don't appoint us to the board, at least let us give some kind of input of how it went or how it's supposed to.
Mrs. Branch,
Well-
do you remember how many people had been on that committee in the past?
It was 5 of us.
It was 5. And was there a term limit set for that committee in the past?
Nobody wants that job.
I know, as long as I get
I'm sorry that I stood up here because my husband is looking at me now.
Get up.
Miss Branch, what was the name after Tammy? You gave 2 names, Tammy and,
Julia stands, I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
okay.
Julia.
And she finds if they come after me, stalking me,
Yeah.
because I mentioned, I'll need your help.
Oh, question from
This
Ruth,
question in the
yeah,
back.
in the back, yeah.
It's already on
Yes,
there.
sir.
Yeah,
You
Rufus
finished, Ms. Brown?
is the spearhead of it.
Are you finished? Okay, we got it.
Because somebody wants,
Somebody else has a question. Go sit down.
Don't you come like that.
Go ahead, sir.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
With all due respect, before we get an animal control board, do we have an animal control dog catcher and his boss? Because I think we should have a dog catcher to protect the children from rabies before we have an animal control board. That's just my thought.
It's an advisory board, so it's to kind of help us figure out how we're gonna address animal control. We've discussed it at some other meetings.
So are they gonna hire the dog catcher
But before you,
Oh, God, we're not
There
gonna
is
cut it
no
out,
dog
cut it short, cut it short, cut it short, cut it short, cut it short.
Okay,
I'm back
so
and
can
forth.
we get back to?
So,
okay.
I just want to say one thing. This is something
Do you wanna say
that
something?
the citizens have came forward for in many, many meetings, multiple times, and asked for.
Correct.
You know, something to happen with the stray animals and everything around the city, and the board is going to be established to determine what needs to happen. Do we need to hire a dog catcher? Do we need to house them? Do we need to? That is the purpose of the board, to discuss all different types of things for animal control.
Mr. Bridges, it's been my experience that people let Pee-Pee out to potty and they have new neighbors. And Pee-Pee done went down 2 yards down, and the neighbors doesn't understand if Pee-Pee belongs over here and they call animal control. Animal control shows up and Pee-Pee's gone back in the house. We have a lot of animals that's not being secured by their owners. There's a leash law, there's a city ordinance that we should enforce the leash law. But some of these dogs that people are saying are strays actually belong to animal owners that don't contain their animals.
Okay, anything else?
I don't have anything else, just with your motion or before your motion, and within your discussion, let Eric know the term numbers, how many people you want on there and their names.
Can we do that in multiple motions? Can we approve the bylaws first, or and then appoint people, or does it have to be all in one big motion?
To create the board, I think I have it on one resolution, so you're gonna have to probably come to general consensus first, and then you could probably do your initial members separate, if you think that's gonna be contentious or something.
I think
But I recommend just doing it all at
I
once.
think Eric Green had already kind of mentioned Ruth Rodriguez, and I would like to mention Ms. Branch, and we just need one more person.
So y'all gonna do 5 or just 3?
Three, wasn't it? It's 3 on the
Three
document.
initial,
Three.
three initial board members, but if you want to,
You guys can make, this is your baby, however many you want to serve, I just.
no, apparently not.
Mr. Richards, do you know if anyone has actually spoken to Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes, she was here on that day.
Yeah, she said
She-
she
she
wanted,
has- she
yeah,
has
she agreed.
Volunteers,
Okay.
and I've spoken to her since.
Yes, she agreed.
Okay.
No one can really talk unless the mayor addresses them.
But you said the term, so that means I gotta vote for that person to be on the board?
No.
No, us.
This is their meeting, you guys just get to watch.
So I'd like to recommend one of the other ladies that Ms. Branch, that has experience dealing with animals, rescue, yeah.
So that's 4. So you can do Walthall. The last name was Walthall? She, yeah. So that's 5.
That's my neighbor.
Yeah, she do.
So that would give us Eric Green, Ruth Rodriguez, Kim Branch, Jessica Wathall, and Tammy Livingston.
How many is that?
That is
5.
5.
I could have sworn Eric said he.
I think he said he did not want to.
Eric did not want to be on it. He said no.
I thought I heard somebody say.
Yeah, he said not him.
To
but
get
Ruth.
out of it.
Yeah.
I would recommend at least one, of course, at most 2 council members on the board, just so that there's a liaison.
I think Monique is volunteering herself
Yeah,
over
she's
here.
it,
She would
yeah,
like to
right
be,
here.
she would like to be the
Yeah.
council liaison.
Tony, right.
Mr. McNamara?
I don't do pets.
You scared of dogs?
Okay, I'll do it.
So I'd like to,
Easy?
are we all cool with 5 initial members, and then
Yeah. that's
setting
fine.
a 2-year term, which would be the same as reason currently for EDC,
That's fine.
2-year term?
Branch.
I'm gonna leave it to this. Jackie Livingston and Julia Stanster runs Bell's Buds. So there's part of
team.
Like a tandem.
Yeah, if you take one, you sort of need to take the other. And I'm willing to
There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
count it.
You could just add her. It's 6 ain't
But
bad.
also, anybody can attend the meeting, like, if
Just
she
'cause you're
wants
not
to
on the
come,
board
yeah,
doesn't
just
mean
because
she
you're not on the board doesn't mean she can't be involved. I mean, she can,
She'd just be a volunteer.
right.
Yeah.
Want me to read Mayor Brandt's
I did not say a word, ma'am.
Mayor,
I know.
Mayor, are you ready for a motion?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to move that we adopt an animal control advisory board that should be made up of no more than 5 members for a 2-year term per the bylaws as established, with the initial members being, Ms. Ward, could you read those names for us?
Yes, Robert Richards, Ruth Rodriguez, Kim Branch, Jessica Wathall, and Tammy Livingston.
Effective immediately.
Second.
Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Well, I tried to get Tony to do it.
Okay.
I don't do pets very well,
The
especially
next
cats.
item is E, consider and take action approving reinstalling the sign-on bonus program recruiting purpose for the Brookshire Police Department.
Chief, was this a successful recruitment tool?
Very successful.
Good evening, council.
Hello.
So yes, that's, I come asking you to consider reinstating our sign-on bonus. We did have success with it. We made 4 good, solid new hires with that recruiting effort. And in order to keep us competitive with some of the area agencies, while we are competitive with the sheriff's office, say Waller County, Fort Bend County, when it comes to the municipalities, we're challenged in what we pay our personnel. So, yes, it's an incentive to bring people on board. You know, we start officers at $58,000 a year, which that was increased just before I came in the door. Actually, Jennifer and I had some questions about that, and I said, we're not gonna be able to hire anybody at 53,000. So, that was bumped up to 58 and topping at 65,000. What we do now is if an officer comes to or has interest and is hired on, if they have experience, we give $1,000 for every year experience that they have up to 65,000. That's our top out, bringing them on board. With the $7,500, of course, that sweetens the deal, and then our robust incentive pay program we can actually bring officers in 70,000, 71, 72, and which makes it, like I said, it's a good, fair market price, and for somebody who wants to come to work in a small agency, that's a good pay.
So I have a couple of questions, just to refresh my memory. When we put this together, that payout is over 3 years. It's a 3-year commitment, is that correct?
That's how we did it.
Okay. And is it your recommendation to continue to do it over a 3-year period?
We've discussed restructuring that, only
Okay.
because, what we were doing is we were.
Trying to bring
we were
people
giving
in.
a third, coming in the door, and then after they finish the FTO program after the first year, we give them another 2,500, and then so on. We actually lost one of those applicants. My thought is if we try and recur and recoup those costs and giving them more money up front, I'm not saying we have to do it all at one time, the $7,500, but we should give them a bulk of it, make it a true sign-on bonus. I don't want it to look like it's a bait and switch. In other words, okay, we're advertising, we're gonna give you $7,500 sign-on bonus, and that's what they think they're gonna get coming in the door. And then we go, oh, by the way, you're only gonna be getting this amount. So, we've discussed it among command staff, we haven't finalized exactly how
So
that's
you
gonna
basically
work.
gone 250 for you be here this long and 250.
Well,
for-
and I think
Okay.
one of the things that we've run into that we're very cognizant of, and we've questioned legal on how we can structure that, is to Chief's point, offer the $7,500, but it's got a 2 or 3 year term. If the officer leaves or is dismissed within that period,
Yeah,
they are
that's what I'm saying.
responsible for paying that money back.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how corporate America works with, sign-on bonuses. And while we have the ability to not be so corporate, we do have to hold officers accountable. If we terminate an officer and he came on a sign-on bonus, that's his responsibility to pay that portion back. I think
How would you
that's
go
fair.
about in getting the money back?
I mean, there's various different ways, we can, take it out of their paycheck. When they do leave, they have some comp time, vacation time that they're given. We can, instead of paying them, we can take that back. I mean, there's a lot of different conversations. We have reached out to a lot of other cities to ask what they do, how they do it.
I have a question. So you're saying that $7,500 is the number and you don't know the terms yet. Is that correct? Well, we need the terms. I mean, how can we make a decision without the terms right now?
We can do the terms that we did last time. I mean, the terms that we did last time were split into 3, but we're just asking for the option to allow us to pay the $7,500.
So-
for
Okay,
all
I okay with the sign-on bonus. I personally, it's just my opinion, have a problem giving someone all of the money up front and then expect them to pay $7,500 back. I don't think you'll get it. Okay, so, we need the terms. In a 3-year thing or 2-year thing sound good, but we definitely need the terms before.
And that's what we've done.
So we just do what we did.
The last time.
Well, do you have anybody that you're intending, that you think will be hired on in the next 90 days?
Yes.
So if we were to extend this only for 90 days, and then you were to come back to us with your proposed alternate terms, we could review this in 90 days?
I would say, again, I would just suggest if you're really gonna consider it, and we're gonna do $7,500, we'll just do it like we did before.
Yeah, because in 90 days, what are we going to do? You still need terms for 90 days too.
But I'm just saying,
That's
give
not
them time to come up with their new plan and share it with us.
And the
how
terms
they'd
of
like
last
to
time,
do
we
it.
did a 6-month period. We ran it for 6 months. We did $7,500. We broke it up into payments over the 3 years. You get a third when you sign on. You get a third at your first anniversary. You get the final third at, your second anniversary.
How'd that work for you?
So can you add
Okay.
the pay it back though? That's the question I'm saying. Like if they
It's-
don't.
that's
say-
in there.
We
Okay.
can, and that was what we ran into this time, was that we actually did have 2 officers that that received the sign-on bonus, and then they ended up leaving, and it was,
We did sign on bonus at my previous company, and no one had to pay it back, even when they left. But we just stretched it out long enough to do it.
There's
And
some
then-
agencies that actually give you
Yeah.
full sign-on bonus, and then they'll eat the cost if somebody leaves,
Yeah.
which I don't wanna do.
Yeah, 7,500 is a lot to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very important for this and you to get your full staff, because the emergency plan, you're going to be very busy, especially if we have an emergency. It calls for police officers a lot of work in there. So
I agree that we need that we should, extend this out, right, further past the 6 months that we initially approved. Chief, I guess if you are truly wanting to look at it, rather than wait 6 months, if we extended it for a shorter term, that would give you the opportunity to come back.
We can
But-
I think the first go-around, I think it's fair, what we were doing before,
Okay.
and I have no objections, other than we looked at, hey, well, how can we incentivize somebody to actually stay longer, because we did actually lose somebody.
Okay. Well, I would just encourage you then in 6 months, if this gets approved, if for another 6 months, that when you come back, if you want to change it, have that
We
already in
weighed our
place.
options, and I'm not opposed to doing it exactly how we had it before.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
I'd move we extend the existing sign-on bonus for police officers for an additional 6 months.
second.
What are we doing here?
Did someone second?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
Yeah, she did.
Second.
Yeah.
Who was the first?
seconded?
I
Uh,
did.
Monique did.
All in favor?
I'm sorry, I missed you.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chief. unless you have something else.
Anything else?
The next item is his too.
Oh, I hadn't read that for you. F.
F.
Consider and take action to approve purchase of new radios for the Brookshire Police Department, citing urgent need.
So yes, our radios are 10 years old, and there is an urgent need for us to upgrade the equipment that we have. It's interesting, I was doing a little research on the radios that we do have. They were bought, they're, like I said, they're 10 years old, so we're looking at, 2014, whenever they were purchased. 2 years after they were purchased, Motorola evolved the technology, and by 2016, they didn't become obsolete, but they were already talking about, we're no longer gonna support this radio. So finally, then in 2019, they stopped making that particular radio and giving support to the radio that we have. They still make it, the APX 6000 is what we have, but it's a different model number, and it has greater capabilities with the way that technology has evolved. What I also found about our radio is there's an emergency button should an officer become in distress, they need backup, can't get their radio, they can hit the button, and what it does is it sends a signal back to dispatch and tells them that there's an emergency. Now, depending on the software you have in place, the more advanced stuff will tell you where they're located if they have GPS on it. But the best thing that they can do is let you know that somebody's in trouble somewhere. So in a small town like this, you have to scramble and try and find where an officer might be, or where their last known location is, which we can do through CAD now. We can find out where they are without using the GPS on the radio. But it sends a signal to dispatch, lets them know the officer's in distress, and they can send everybody to help that officer. We don't have that capability. I double checked it even when I left. It doesn't exist. There's no tie-in to it whatsoever. So it's a huge officer safety issue. Now, if we were to upgrade Motorola radios, I found a better radio that's more advanced. It's called an L3 Harris radio. The Motorola radios that are more advanced can run you $3,000. You get them on sale, they'll cut you a little deal, and you can save some money. The L3 radios that we're looking at are LTE advanced. I can't speak to all the technological advancements of the radio, but what I can tell you is some of the features that it has that the Motorola radios don't. The LTE is a long-term, it's called LTE is long-term evolution, and basically what that means is the radio has the capability to transmit through cellular transmission. The L3 Harris radio has an audio playback feature, so if you're busy, like let's say you're doing something out on the roadside, dispatch is trying to dispatch you another call, you don't hear it, you can hit a button on the radio and it'll actually transmit and play back the last message that was transmitted to you on the radio. It has emergency buttons and the capabilities to add the software to our existing hardware, so if the emergency buttons hit, it will send a signal to dispatch and let them know that that officer needs help. Also has a cancellation, noise cancellation, so if you're working an accident on the freeway or you're somewhere answering an alarm and there's noise in the background, whenever the officer keys up, it's just voice that's transmitted, not all the background noise. It's heat resistant, which Harris radio is very popular among fire departments and growing in popularity. Has better connection, has a stronger signal. It helps with dead spots. We have, if you go down I-10, up and down I-10, dead spots on the radio. You can't, when you go to transmit, you can't hit a repeater. When I say repeater, is the radio tower has a repeater on it. It will not transmit. So they have better capabilities of transmitting in these dead zones. It has better clarity and it's waterproof. So, with that being said, I'm looking to, replace the Motorola radios, that portable Motorola radios we have with 20 portable radios and 7 mobile radios, and not to exceed $150,000.
So I have a couple of questions. What is the difference between a portable radio and a mobile radio?
The mobile radio is the radio that's inside the car,
Okay.
and the portable radio is the one that we carry on our side.
Okay, and you're seeking to purchase the LTE package, because there's 2 different packages listed on
That's
the,
correct.
so,
What
yeah.
you have there is a quote
Right.
that is a non-LTE package and the LTE package. What the LTE package does for us is, so there's new radio technology coming, and it's called MCPTT, Mission Critical Push to Talk. And then the LTE that is gonna be supported here in our area and for our radios is through AT&T. So what we're trying to do is get ahead of the game, and we are pretty much, what we're trying to do is future-proof the radios by the radios that we purchase, so that they have the capability to be upgraded to LTE when it comes to this area. Now, depending on who you talk to, they'll tell you that the LTE, the MCPTT technology is coming, and then some people will tell you it's already here. So if you talk to L3 Harris, they'll tell you that it exists and it's on the West Coast and it's coming this way. But the technology is coming and it will be put in place. And so with these radios, all we'll have to do, put a SIM card in it, and then call AT&T, and they hook us up just like they would a cell phone. And it's $5. If we got the non-LTE package, we'd have to send those radios back for an upgrade, reprogramming, and then we'd have to get the SIM cards, then they'd have to put in some kind of modem, so I'm not sure, I can't get an exact cost on what that would look like 2-3 years down the road.
will this be enough radios for all of your officers?
Currently, yes.
Okay, and are you planning on, are you considering the extended warranty?
You get 3 years.
3 years, okay.
Ms. Ward, where in the budget would we pull these funds for the critical?
This was obviously an unbudgeted item, emergent need, so this is something that we would just take from reserves and then make a budget amendment. Your approval would be the budget amendment for the radios.
Okay.
I mean, and this obviously falls under urgent need.
Do you have a quote of the amount the radios will cost?
142,
Yeah, it's in your packet.
142,240.
I'm asking him.
Oh.
$142,240.
Thank you.
So make a motion that we approve the purchase of the LTE package radio package.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Okay. G, consider and take action to approve purchase of a new dump truck for the city.
No, you skipped
Skip something.
G.
Sorry. G,
The 3-barrel to home.
consider and take action to approve relocation of a home from outside of the city to a site at 3223 Robin Street.
It's 411 on it.
We have discussion.
Yeah, I'll let Bridget say.
So, and I don't know a ton about it, we've got city council has to be the one to approve it. There's a process that they've gone through, they did the application, I think they had to get with the county on probably an escort, and I think they had to show us all of that information, and I think staff are they recommending approval for it?
Yes.
And that was gonna be my question, is all of the particular things that, the permits, the escorts, the engineering, all of the flood,
So she put in a request. We will do the permitting once the council's given approval, because obviously she wouldn't want to incur the cost of buying the building until she had council approval. So once council approves, we will do all the permitting and get all those, everything checked off before the permit's issued.
Discussion.
make a motion that we approve the relocation of the home.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. And we'll move on to letter H. Consider and take action to approve purchase of a new dump truck for the City of Brookshire Public Works Department.
I am gonna recommend an amendment to this. Monday night, I came to you with two important pieces of equipment that we were gonna be purchasing during budget time. It was a dump truck and it was an excavator. Both of those pieces of equipment that we currently have are, really fall into the category of being unsafe. We discussed that on Monday night. We went out through our contacts and we received bids. We would like to change the request tonight from a dump truck to an excavator. We were able to obtain a price on the excavator, and they are extending through our government discount. They are extending us a $25,000 discount through Friday, which would put the cost of the original cost of the excavator was almost $100,000. It's coming in at $75,954.36, which falls within what is left in our budget for special equipment. We are still waiting on some specifications to come back on the dump truck. We had to make some, after speaking with the mayor, there was a couple of specifications that we asked to be changed, and we haven't gotten pricing back from that. However, the cost of that dump truck would end up being close to about $130,000. So given what we have left in the budget to cover our special equipment, and with the extended discount from New Holland, this put this within a range that we felt was a little bit more important to proceed forward with.
Oh, we got it.
So what was the total cost
$75,954.
for both pieces of equipment?
No, just for the excavator. And it's a bigger piece of equipment than what we currently have right now. The one we have right now has 6,000 hours on it, and we are spending a substantial amount of money continually repairing, just getting it into a position that it's safe for our guys to use it
So
during projects.
your amendment, if I'm understanding correctly, would be to no longer purchase a pickup truck,
No, a dump truck
a
to
dump
change,
truck,
right, to
but
change
change it
the
to an
dump
excavator.
to an excavator, and then we will come to you in the new year with the dump truck, once we're able to finalize that pricing. And quite honestly, the dump trucks right now are pretty hard to find. There are various different brands, and we're trying to focus in on one of the manufacturers where parts are easier to come by. Some of the dump trucks right now, the accessory parts are very hard to find. They're very expensive when you can. You have to wait long periods of time to get those replacement parts. So this actually, when we got this pricing, this became the immediate need.
So is the dump truck no longer an immediate need?
It is. It's just we can wait till budget time. It will be budget, it will be put into the budget. We discussed that on Monday, that there was two major pieces of equipment, which were the excavator and the dump truck. So basically all we're doing is switching, because we were extended from the manufacturer through government pricing a $25,000 discount. We felt like that was worth taking. That doesn't happen often. So it was worth taking that discount right now while we could. And then the current excavator will be sent to, we use a secondary company, auction company, where we send our police cars and old equipment. So we will send that excavator to auction to be publicly auctioned.
I think it's a good idea to go ahead and snatch it up while we have opportunity. $25,000 is a big discount. And I think, like you say, we can wait for the dump truck. But what we're trying to do is get all the equipment that we need to keep going with the ditch cleaning and everything else. And because if you don't have the right size dump truck, you're making two trips with a dump truck when you're only taking half of what the excavator could pick up. So I think we ought to go with this. That's my opinion.
I move that we approve the purchase of a new excavator for the City of Brookshire Public Works Department not to exceed $100,000.
I second. Oh, Monique second.
Which one second? You?
I move.
It doesn't matter.
Monique and Mr.
Oh,
Richards
we said it
both said.
together.
Pick one.
Yes.
Pick one.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Consider and take actions to adopt new emergency management plan of action ordinance.
So I would like to have discussion on this item as well.
Yeah, so, actually in the process of getting y'all's, code of ordinances codified and, moving to E-code, I had just taken a look at this ordinance, and then Erica sent me, basically a couple other cities saying, here's what ours looks like, it's really short. We need to have a little bit more detail on this, especially because this council has this, emergency management as such a priority. So this is, just an amended ordinance that will take the place of the emergency management, portion of your code. And it's pretty basic to other cities of your size and, caliber, so if you've got questions, I can answer those on the ordinance. These two are your emergency management.
Yeah, I read through this. I didn't see any substantial issues that came out from reading it. As I was looking through it, and it seems very similar to, seems very similar to the previous but updated plan.
It's an update, it's got a little bit more detail. And, the next item, you guys are going to forward for this kind of thing, so there may be some suggested, recommended amendments to this one, but this one is kind of bringing us into, I don't know when the last one was.
1986.
1986, so we're coming into
Yeah.
2024.
So the previous plan is this one,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And the proposed plan is this one, right? Okay. I read the whole thing also. Who will be the emergency coordinator?
Currently, we can share the duties. It really depends. The way that the NIMS system works is one of us has to be listed, but we can fluctuate duties during an incident pertaining to the incident commander. Currently, I am by default listed as the emergency management coordinator. We have 3 employees that have the certifications to sit in that position.
So the mayor is the emergency management director, and then you work as his assistant as the emergency management coordinator.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Because there's also a position for city administrator and a coordinator. So you're going to be the coordinator or the city administrator?
What you have to remember is that the structure of emergency management, a lot of cities have an emergency management individual. Like, that's a full-time position. So the reason that that's written in there is because there are a lot of cities that do have an emergency management coordinator, that is their sole position. A lot of times, sometimes they will dual duty, they will be with police or fire, but in a lot of other cities, your city administrator is your emergency.
I understand, and this is specific, and the reason I'm asking is because if you're not available, okay, it doesn't say that the mayor has a designee on here. It says that the mayor, then you, okay? So, if you're not available, is there a designee?
Yes, it's actually listed in the emergency management plan on page.
Line of succession is under 7, section 7. Here it is. It's on page BP 33.
Which one, BP 73?
33.
33.
33, the next person in the line of succession for the mayor is the city manager, the chief of police, then the city secretary. In the line of succession for the city manager is the chief of police, the city secretary, the public works director. In the line of succession after that is chief of police, city secretary, public works director.
Right, I read that. So when if you're not available, then the chief will be there, okay? I just want to,
And this, just so that you understand, this is not something that we just arbitrarily craft. We are given certain specifications from the state that the basic plan has to meet. And
Right.
so these points meet the measurements. of
right,
the-
this is a standard document, I know, I read that. Okay. So the committee that we create will review this document and add to some things if we need to, not as far as change this document, because this is standard, I know. But the committee will review and add some things. For example, do you have cots available in case there's a hurricane or a storm and people's houses are destroyed? Do you have a cooler with food? Do you have a means to feed people? Do you have, and I know there's a lot in here, it's all in here, and people are designated to do all those things, okay, to house people, evacuate. I read the whole document, okay? But do you have those supplies, or do you plan to have those supplies on hand? Because it says in here also that someone should have them. Do you plan to have water available? Do you plan to have cots available? If God forbid a hurricane or something comes through, what is your plan? The first 48 to 72 hours are crucial in an emergency.
Correct.
Okay, so what is your plan?
It is, and it's not typical that a city keeps like an amount of cots or freezers with food or things like that. That's not typically a city's obligation when it comes to emergency management. However, as designated in here, we have certain representatives in the community that we work with. We go specifically through the Office of Emergency Management with Waller County. If we get to a point that we're at critical point and we need cots for a shelter, yes, we have a contact and we are able to access those and get those immediately. There is a system that we use that is regulated through the state, Web EOC, where we go on and we make specific direct command requests to get those items here as fast as we can.
Right, that's what I wanted to understand. And so that's what the committee is gonna do, right? They're gonna give you the recommendations to, if we should keep that stuff or not, or we're not gonna get it at all. Basically, we have to wait till something happens and call your contacts for it to come in. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
it's a request system.
Okay,
But we can always, foster relationships with,
Right.
too, like in the meantime, like in the when we're not in an emergency, like that's an important part of the committee.
Right.
Is to kind of foster relationships and
Right.
kind of make sure they're in place.
and that was the reason that I was mentioning that if we could create a community outreach liaison, housed out of that blue building over there, the fire station over there, and have that place for storing things in case of disaster, something happens. And also a EMS stop to have emergency service in the heart of the city. Just a stop for them for there. And we'd like to also partner with the local churches
And that
for
and
this
I-
committee
that
for
was
this
yeah,
program.
yes.
Yeah,
correct.
okay.
That was written in there, and
Right.
that's typically, we do have a local church that is also already has a Red Cross
Right.
shelter agreement, and so in various of these events, I've communicated with them about, you know, what the readiness is in terms of opening that shelter. Do you plan to open it? And they already have an assessment of supplies that Red Cross has provided them. Now, I will say with the recent hurricane, we were talking with Red Cross days before the hurricane ever hit in the need of the convention center being a medical assistance facility only, meaning that Red Cross would bring their staff in, their medical staff in, their equipment in, and they would utilize the convention center for that purpose. That way, we're not left having to regulate who can come in, who cannot come in, who needs additional assistance, who doesn't. And so that, we do have that open communication and relationship with the Red Cross as well as the county and the state contacts to get any sort of resources that we need within a pretty immediate amount of time.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, you have a comment?
I got a question. So like you saying the church, do they have generators just in case if the lights go out at the church?
That
Or
that would have to be the church's responsibility. I mean, we can coordinate with, I mean, we can certainly work, and when we have, you know, people on the advisory board, you know, it's typically how it works is we would have one person that kind of your niche is going to be church and civic groups. And then what we would do is we would create a database of these are all of the churches within a 5-mile radius. These are the resources that they have. So when I've dealt with churches before in emergency management, you have some churches that will take medical necessity, and you have some churches that say that they won't because they don't feel equipped, you know, with that type of personnel. You have some churches that will take animals where others will not. So kind of in that process of building that database, we'll have, you know, a liaison who that's all they will do is strictly put their focus on church and civic groups and kind of what the available necessities for them are. And Mayor, I don't know if we've never, I don't believe we've ever done that before, have we? Okay.
You got a question, sir?
Yeah, it's a valid question. This town has made, or it's been around longer than a day. Why was this committee not made beforehand? Why is this not getting made after the hurricane? Why was it not made decades, 50 years in the existence of when he was founded?
I can't answer that question. I came in August, and when I actually interviewed with city council, that was one thing that I brought up was emergency management. Because,
It's a valid question. I mean, I'm just asking.
The question.
don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. All I can do is say that going forward, we're adhering to all the state and federal guidelines for emergency management, and that's the best that we can do right now is to make sure and provide those services. I can't answer why they've never had them before.
Okay.
So we select the committee members?
Y'all are actually still on the ordinance.
Oh, are we?
one. I
Oh.
kinda-
Oh, okay.
So you need to vote on the ordinance first.
Motion and vote.
I'll make
I
a
make a
mo-
motion.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead. It's always you and I. Go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve and adopt the new emergency management plan.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we can go.
Racing today.
Trying to get out of here. Jay, consider and take action to approve resolution creating an emergency management committee, including bylaws and requirements. Now, Dave, you brought this up?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, when I joined the city council, this is one of my main concerns. And Hurricane Beryl, even that kind of pushed it a little more. Yeah, yes. I mean, you know, everybody did come together to make sure the city was safe. You know, the public works, they did their part. But all in all, we should have been more proactive than reactive. And that's why I want to get this committee together so that we have a lot of elderly people
Right.
here. We have disabled people here.
Older
and
than you.
and they don't have transportation. So, one of my main concerns is getting this committee. So, say for instance, they didn't have power. People were stuck in their homes for 3 or 4 days. Elderly people, they may not have family anywhere they can go to. Well, with this committee, you know, we can have someone go out and pick them up if we have somewhere to take them, you know. Just pretty much, yeah, that part.
You can build the relationships and,
Yeah,
and contact the resources that you have
Yes,
to act on.
yes, and communicate, of course, with the churches and all that. The committee communicate, you know, with you guys so that everything won't be on y'all. And I feel as if the whole city council, all the members should be on that committee, plus a few residents of the city. Can we do that?
We can't have the whole council on
We
there.
can't. Okay, so how many can we have?
Two.
You just
Okay.
have two, how many? Two on council?
Two from council, otherwise you have a walking quorum and then it becomes a legal
Oh,
meeting.
yeah.
But I like to be on, I like to be on there.
Have two, but I will say that you are required to have your National
CPR.
Incident Management certification. So you will have to go through your NIMS certification.
I think I have mine
It's
already.
not a problem.
So also, you know, when Hurricane Beryl was here, when the convention center was open, people were really appreciative of that because they were during the heat of the day, even though they had generators, it was hot in their houses, and they came over. They were able to cool off, charge up their cell phones. So, I mean, those are the types of things that we need to be able to provide for the community. You know.
Sure.
We've also been working with Lee Jones Church, Reverend Jones's church, St. Paul, is that it?
Paul.
St. Paul. I think it, excuse me, is that the designated church that you spoke of? Because they are a Red Cross, a FEMA
No.
designated church.
Curry Chapel.
Okay, well, St. Paul is also, okay, designated Red Cross. And I would like to recommend Lee Jones for one of the committee members.
So in front of you is the same thing that we had for the animal ordinance, or excuse me, animal committee advisory board. I probably left a term.
Yeah, so we need to select how many members and what the term would be. If we wanted to do a similar to what we've done with all the other committees, it would be 5 members with 2 years term limit, 2-year terms.
That's a good
Is that
idea.
fine? Everybody fine with that, 5 and 2? And is there any other recommendations besides Lee Jones?
Right, I'm sorry, it's Lee Jones Jr. That's what
Jones
the mayor was telling me, to remind you.
I'm assuming, Ms. McDade, that you would like to be the city council rep to that committee?
Yes.
Of course.
Would you like to be
Or
on the
did
committee?
you want to be on the committee?
Okay, we have
Okay.
Miss Cheryl, Natasha Patrick.
If y'all will give me your email addresses, and then I can send you the links to all the most of the training is like online training, and so I can send you those links.
There are 2 courses that they're federally required, and they are in, like, their day-long training. It's actually 4 days. So we will find the closest one that y'all can go to, and we'll coordinate with you on where those are. Well, the city will pay for it.
Would anyone else in the room like to be a part of the committee?
I think that's our 5.
That's 5,
Is that 5?
yeah.
Who's the two?
So,
Oh, I didn't count myself.
Can you read the 5?
so we have Lee Jones Jr., Robert Richards, Eileen McDade, Natasha Patrick, and Cheryl Rogers.
That's 5.
Y'all be ready to rock and roll.
Ms. McDade, would you like the honor of making the motion for this committee?
I sure will. Where are we at here? Okay, I would like to make a motion to create emergency management committee, including bylaws and requirements.
Second.
Do we need to list the name of the five
Oh, yeah.
initial?
Okay.
The 5 members would be Lee Jones Jr., Robert Richards, Eileen McDade, Natasha Patrick, and Cheryl Rogers.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Yay.
Okay. Next one,
Item K, we tabled.
yeah. Item L, consider and take action to approve BGM land investments petition for release from the ETJ of the city of Brookshire.
We don't have any way to stop this, right? This is just pre-functionary on our part.
A little bit of background on this is, in, I don't know, if it's 2023 or 2021, the Texas legislature basically enabled any property owners in the ETJ of the city, if they want to be removed, they have to petition, I think it's, greater than 50% of the registered landowners, make a petition to the city to be removed from our ETJ. And the statute does not require us, or does not allow us to decline it. And in fact, if we don't act on it, it is automatically removed. So I understand the petition was filed, you're gonna have another one, on item M, a proper petition was filed, they wanna be removed. All you all are doing tonight is making a nice paper trail for us to know that they were removed.
Okay, but I have a question too, though. How much of this owner's land is in the city of Brookshire's ETJ? Does anybody know?
It's, hang on. I just had it. There's one small portion that is city of Pattison, the rest was city, it doesn't say the exact,
So the city of Patterson is in Brookshire's ETJ?
It overlaps.
Part of-
Yeah.
part of what he owns is in the city of Pattison.
The initial request says there's 749.6 acres. It's on
So-
the letter.
So we don't know how much of it is in the city of Brookshire's ETJ.
It should say the amount that.
Yeah, it says relating to the land located in the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction that is contained within 749.6 acres.
700 acres is in Brookshire's ETJ.
749.6.
Do we know if there's any easements or any single-family residents on this land?
No. I think it's just, there's nothing on the abstract that indicates that. The abstract is 1, 2, 3, page 4 of what they submitted.
It looks like right now it's all ag use.
Okay. So
Yes.
no city easements, no single-family residents on this.
Correct.
And I know the ordinance says that we don't, if we have to do something, I don't think it's automatic, but if we
It's
have to just
automatic,
act, but it's not automatic, yeah.
By default.
Right. And I like to tell my city councils to, cooperate when this kind of thing happens, because if one day that landowner wants to.
Wants
sell
to come back.
developer and we wanna really work with them to get them back into the
Right.
city, we obliged this request, we weren't jerks and just let it run.
I'm not-
It's a lot. This is a 2023 thing, you already don't have a lot of control in the ETJ, and the ledge said you don't get hardly anything now.
Yeah. Can we make one motion to approve both?
Why don't you keep them separate?
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the BGM land investments petition for release from the ETJ of the city of Brookshire.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consider M, consider to take action to approve terra prima petitions for release from the ETJ of the city of Brookshire. Did I skip?
I move that we would approve the terra prima petition.
You just skip. No, you're right.
Okay.
I move that we approve the terra prima petition for release from the ETJ of the city of Brookshire.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion and review of possible interlocal agreement with the Brookshire Municipal Water District. Mr. Green, who's not
Yeah.
here.
I know about that one, though.
Are you familiar with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, the interlocal agreement is for additional work. For instance, if the city of Brookshire is doing work and they hit a water pipe, and we will go ahead and repair it. As such, also, if the water district's doing work and they hit a water pipe, they will repair it. We also have interlocal agreement also with the Brookshire Drainage District too, right? Or do we?
Yes.
I
we
thought there was
should.
one in
It's a
place.
longstanding agreement.
So, we have to work as teams with the other agencies, so I recommend that we approve this.
So what's in front of you is very general. I had reached out to Councilman Green to see what exactly he wanted in the agreement. And so what you see in front of you is a very general skeleton of what an ILA would look like with them. I didn't know the exact terms. I think you just said basically kind of separating liability on if there's
Right.
property damage.
In the easement only, yeah.
in the easement.
Right, not on personal property.
I will add that in. I may give you a call after. That way I can get that flushed out in the ILA and I'll get it.
Should we table this till next meeting when we have a finalized draft to look at?
I think that's probably how it would work right now anyway. If we
Correct.
busted something,
Because we'd
we
have to-
take care
Right.
of it. If they busted it, they would.
So it's on the agenda, it's on the, what?
They gotta put it in words for.
Well,
I know, but it's on the agenda, I don't know.
Well.
Well, there's just nothing to vote on because there's nothing here that's presented to the council.
So, yeah, so we currently, don't have an agreement with them, and so we didn't know if there were some other specific things that Mr. Green was interested in making sure, like, we had, like, as far as, like, putting the roads back together, like, after Water District works, and, like, our guys have to go in and repair them, because Water District doesn't do a great job of putting the roads back together, and so then our guys kind of have to go behind them. And so I think there was some of that, too, so I think if we get some more detail.
And we are, going to meet with the water district right now. We've given them a date of August 2nd, to meet with them and their lawyer, to kind of see what else they might want in this agreement before we just hand them a one-sided agreement that we have signed and then expect them to sign it. They need to be able to.
Okay, so we're gonna postpone it for now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Postpone it to the next agenda. And consider and take action to approve amendments to the street side parking ordinance to include Baines and 10th Street.
Can we have discussion on this one?
I do too.
You have discussion?
Yeah.
So, the original request was only Baines and, is it 10th Street?
Correct.
I don't understand how all of those other streets got on here.
Those are already in there.
They were already
Okay.
in there.
Well, this, I think this is gonna be a big problem. I mean, now we're gonna put no parking signs all over this city, basically. And did anybody go out and individually see why do we need no parking signs in all those spots?
On the other ones, I don't know but the mayor can probably
No,
speak to
I'm not
that.
speaking about Baines and 10th.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
talking about all those other locations all over the city.
Mayor?
People have nowhere else
You
to
mean
park.
what, items 1 through 11 that are already currently in the code?
Yeah, yeah. So
We're-
say for instance, Highway 90 in front of the bank. We got no parking there because those big trucks usually park there and tear up the property there and also along from Almeida's Meat Market, then some other places across the track that has no parking for a reason because the street is so small in the first place. And, you know, if there's an emergency, have problems getting through there.
I understand Highway 90, but you have Rawls Street from alley between 2nd and 3rd Street, alley between 3rd and 4th Street. You have 359 North Kendall Road, Rollins Road.
Yeah, but all of those were
South
already, those were all already in the ordinance from
Okay, but what
long
are we
before.
approving here then, if they're already there?
Because all we're doing is making an amendment to the existing ordinance, so the existing ordinance has to remain, and then we add the amendments to it. The amendments are only those items that are in bold and underlined. Those are the additions.
Okay, can I? So these are already restricted parking spaces?
Correct. They've already been approved for years by the
And
council.
we're voting to add Baines and 11 only? 10th only? Okay.
So there are some that are, additional, that are bolded and underlined, but that's because I moved them from another section. So we had like a no parking in D,
So,
and then there was
this,
another.
so his statement is not true?
No,
No,
they've all been in
his-
there. There have been two sections, there were two sections in your ordinance that said no parking at these locations, and then had a list. And then there was a second section that said no parking at these locations, and had a list. So I just combined that, I just moved.
So you can see on this page where she has it struck out 2 pages behind the list of the new ones.
Right.
You can see where she struck it out and she took those and put them over here under the 10th Street.
So we just have one list of no parking zones instead of two.
Consolidated it, started in there. Chief has some changes though.
And the one, 10th Street, the reason why we want no parking signs there because there's a lot of apartments
Semi.
there, there's kids that
And them
runs out,
semis was parking.
and the semi trucks was
Tenth,
parking there.
10th Street,
Oh, Baines.
well, I was saying, I asked for 10th Street to come on because, currently this week we went down there was 32 cars parked on the side of the road. There's a mechanic shop there's actually 2 mechanic shops at the end of 10th Street, and then one of those has actually been parking vehicles on the side of the road at the end of 10th Street and using it as
They work there, right?
basically
Yeah,
like
but
a
no,
used
no,
car
half
kind
of
of
them
lot.
are used, like,
So when we approached PD about it, going and remediating that, the police department doesn't have any teeth in the ordinance to not allow the parking to be there. It's not only an incredible safety issue because, an ambulance or a fire truck can't get down there and be able to turn around because you've got, like I said, we had
Right,
32
on both
cars
sides.
parked on both sides.
Well, and the water treatment's down
And
there.
the water treatment facility is down there. So this has been the 10th Street has been a long time coming, and this would allow PD to actually now cite those vehicles and have those vehicles removed back to the owner's property off of 10th Street. And I believe Baines the mayor can speak to that, but I believe Baines is along the same lines.
Okay.
Because,
But
like I said, the 18-wheelers
yeah, Baines was 18, mostly semis.
and kids playing,
Right there in
people,
the
we
corner,
put,
right
what you call them?
No through.
Speed bumps out there to slow them down. And also, because of the way they put the trash out, if people park out on the street, they can't get the trash picked up.
And just for clarification, this is only concerning Baines and 10th Street, right?
We're adding them to the
We're
ordinance.
adding them to the
yes.
ordinance, okay.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Chief, you had some additional,
I did, but they're not according to the agenda, they don't have any, they don't have anything to do with parking
Okay.
on Baines, other than one typo I
That's
found.
drive me
The other ones
crazy.
would have just been amendments, so it doesn't.
Anything else?
you have a comment from
You have a quick question?
Yes, I heard Second Street and I heard Third Street, those are streets on the north side, but I also heard, Ms. Jennifer said that, there's no room for an ambulance or a fire truck to turn around. Those streets on the north side, they're not wide enough. When I go this side and you go this side, we both have to get in the ditch to pass each other, we're gonna have head-on collision. Those streets aren't big enough to park on the side of the road for a park.
That's what we're saying.
That's why I said.
That's
no
why,
parking.
that's why they're in the ordinance already.
And then we put the no parking sign, because then we come to, if I park, I'm in the ditch, I might have to call the right.
You, well,
No parking, that's why there are no parking zones.
Okay, I would like, y'all ready? No.
Yeah, unless there's any further.
I would like to make a motion to approve the amendments for the side streets parking ordinance, including Bain Street and 10th Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Number 10, city staff, city council reports.
No, we're in budget, so again, just a reminder, if you have something that you want to add through the budget, request form, please try to get those to me ASAP. We did get the certified tax rolls today, which is great. It'll take us a couple of days to get our truth in taxation form complete, which will give us a range of tax rates. I will say, we fared very well on our certified tax rolls. It actually came in higher than our preliminary tax rolls, which is great. You always get concerned, especially with annexations going on, that, people are gonna be removed from the tax roll and it's going to lower your appraised value, but we did come in, we've finally hit $1 billion in certified tax value, which is great for our community. And again, it just kind of goes along with the narrative that we've been continually talking about growth, and it's coming, and so we've continued to increase our taxable tax base, so that's fantastic. But we are just full steam ahead on
I have a question.
budget. Yes.
Trash. What is going on with the trash service? I mean, you have Ms. Beagle? I mean, I thought, so can we discuss trash now with city council reports?
We do have a trash collection report on the
Right,
agenda, so
right.
let's not go crazy into it.
Okay. There's issues with the trash pickup. Okay, they didn't pick up today. There was, last week, this 2 times this happened before. So do we have a billing issue? Do we have a vendor performance issue? A vendor performance issue. Have they breached their contract?
No, because they are covered under the force
Force majeure.
Yeah, clause.
What is that?
It means that it's a clause that's in their contract that relates to natural disasters or God-enforced issues that, they have been telling us that the landfills the landfills are full, it's delaying their service. We've had some issues on top of that. I've already gone to them and threatened them with, this is the last time, we're canceling your contract. They have gotten back with us and said, okay, we will do better. However, we are covered under, what's it called?
No,
Yeah,
but
force
they
majeure.
are. I received a report from a residence where they dumped their trash on the ground. Okay, they dumped it out of the can on the ground.
Right.
Okay, contaminants on the ground. Okay, we have reports where they're putting yellow tags. I even got one on my trash can that they're saying that they can't pick up trash. And I looked in the can, there's barely anything in there. Okay, and my neighbor has one of these as well.
I received one as well.
I mean, I would like to see a copy of this vendor's contract. Okay.
We've sent a copy to Mr. Green today as well.
Okay. Well, I would like to see one.
Sure.
Okay, because they're using this disaster thing as an excuse, and it's making the city look
Well, and I'll
horrible
tell you-
with all this trash everywhere. Then the rodents gonna come and all of that. Okay.
Well, and I will say that Jennifer and I both, we had our public works guys going out and helping, because I had some people come in to talk about their trash not being picked up, and then picking up one can and not taking the other one, saying the cans were too heavy. Things that I was just like, well, are we just gonna leave the trash there then? Like, what are we doing with it? So they have had a lot of excuses today again. I sent a note saying, were you here today? They did do partial of the city, because they picked up, I have people that have had their trash, like Stella had theirs, like
okay.
Margie said theirs, anyway.
They picked
I
yours?
know.
They must have stopped right there.
I know.
And I thank you, Public Works, because my trash had been sitting out there since the last time.
Right, yes. So I did,
We have been reaching out
And-
to them
yeah.
nonstop.
and I did
Gave
share
them a
with,
call, too.
and I shared with Ms. Patrick that I'm gonna go ahead and start making some calls to some other haulers, and see, just kind of get an idea, share our contract and like what we're looking for, and just to see if we can, I will say, just so everybody knows, Texas Pride was the only people that bid on our contract.
Yeah. And that's, they promised what they said. They came here.
Right,
They
and
promised a
so-
lot.
We actually
did.
did. We went and met with several of them, and there were some things, there were some specific reasons.
No, you're good.
No, there were some specific reasons why trash companies were not bidding on us. And hopefully we've addressed some of those issues. Also, it's no excuse, but just to understand the way that the trash business works, I'm sure that Bridget could agree with this too, dealing with other cities. Unfortunately, we are located literally in between where either your landfills are in the ship channel or your landfills are in Austin. So we are literally in between where these locations are. When we went to Texas, when Texas Pride bid, if Texas Pride handled our billing, our trash was going to be $30 a month. So that's why we took on doing the billing and everything internally to get that price down to the $18. There were other trash companies that were much higher than that were not willing to bid because there was location challenges with where would they dispose it. The time frame was just it didn't work. It was too complicated. But we're always open to go out to bid, and we just want the public to know. I mean, we put out a statewide bid for trash service.
But I'm hoping that, like, now that we have, like,
They're not in
like
business
we're doing
anymore.
in-house utility billing, and we have that capability, like, going out and, like, not having to, like, ask for that part, which I think scared some of them off, So I'm hoping that will, open things up for us. And that's all I have. But they're supposed to be back in the morning, just.
So, yes, they're supposed to be
so
back in the
everyone
morning.
knows they're supposed to come back. And I did put out a thing for everybody to email me if they haven't been picked up, so that we can make a
We
list.
can know what parts of the city are, has
Eileen
been or
shared
has
some
not been.
spaces too that hadn't been
Right.
picked up.
We're working on it.
We're working it.
Righty. Moving on down.
Okay. Next agenda item is number 11, future agenda items. I'll start with you, Ms. Taylor.
Just the code enforcer company, just to put it back on there whenever they are available.
Okay.
Code enforcement.
Yeah, it was the,
To have her come before.
the
council.
company,
The item,
Oh.
I think it was
No,
item
they-
A.
Yeah.
yeah. What'd you say?
The one who no-showed today.
Any more, Ms. Taylor?
No, that's it for now. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Mr. McAnally?
I have nothing at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Roberts?
I have
To do an open
7
request.
items.
Can't do it.
7?
Yes.
You gonna make us be here?
Did you say 7?
We've had 3 meetings since we
You
got
have to do
elected.
an open request. You can't do it here. You have to
Take
go
advantage when I
in
can.
there.
So I need a discussion of possible action to investigate the hire date and retirement contributions for the EDC administrative assistant.
Hire date?
Hire date and retirement contributions. And I can give a little detail if you need or not. If not, we can talk, okay. So are we voting on these voting on these or, okay. Well, I mean, I just don't want them to be removed.
No.
Okay, if we need to vote on them right now, we can vote on them.
No, these
Okay.
are, you can't vote on them.
Okay. Discussion and possible action for shredding documents. Okay. And historical documents and shredding.
What do you mean about that?
We can't discuss it, right?
Well, I mean,
No.
could you have a,
Clarify what
I
is on the-
I want the action to review the documents that are being shredded to make sure that any historical items or artifacts or items are preserved.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about records retention policy.
Records retention also, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what else we have?
Okay, the third one is discussion of possible action for performance appraisal and review of city administrative contract. Performance appraisal, annual performance appraisal. Fourth one, discussion of possible action to convert the old fire station, people call it the Blue Building, to a EMS stop. Eric, are you ready? Okay. Discussion and possible action for code enforcement to investigate the material dump site that's located close to 4613 Gessner Road.
You can add
That's
that one.
currently, yes,
Yeah,
that's
you can add that
currently with
tomorrow.
TCEQ.
That's
So
the
that
one.
has been, so something's been done over there?
Correct. We,
Okay.
we've escalated that to the state so that it's now in the hands of the state and they're
Okay, well,
handling
we
it.
can scratch that one. Discussion and possible action for evaluation of public works director position. And the last one, discussion and possible action to review or amend City of Brookshire EDC bylaws.
Which bylaws?
EDC.
EDC bylaws.
That is, sir.
That's it.
You, Ms. McDade?
I don't have anything for future agenda, but I will say Mr. Green's that he suggested for this one be put on future agenda.
Oh, yeah, we're
It's
just
automatically-
tabled,
It
it's
Okay, all right.
automatically rolling in.
All
Yeah.
right.
Anything tabled automatically moves forward.
Good then.
Got it.
All right.
Okay. Next.
Mr. Rich.
We have a short executive session.
Oh, that's-
Thank you. No action. Thank you, we did. Okay. Well, council will convene in executive session pursuant to section 551.071 of Texas Government Code for discussion with the city attorney. And time is 9:03.
You ready to get your iron
She
on?
did say short.
So are you ready to get your iron on?
Okay, it's 9:41. And we don't have anything to discuss from executive session. Therefore, we'll go to the last agenda, which is item number 12, adjournment.
I move for adjournment.
Second.